I promise you can still make a beautiful life for yourself, even if you lost many years of it to abuse, mental illness, or trauma. Shout out to Iris for sharing that, and also Authentically Des for actually sharing the post. Collective, if you clicked on this message, it's because you took a bold step in a new direction, and it literally changed the trajectory of your life, right? See, were somebody who, you've experienced abuse and mental illness before, or some type of trauma, like this quote says. You've experienced years of that, right? And for so long you went with this rain cloud over your head, this sadness, this depression, you know, and all of these other human emotions that you were dealing with, sadness, and you were very pessimistic. Like, you were not hopeful at all, at one point in your life. Um, but you decided that you were not going to sit and suffer anymore. You got inspired. God has really poured into you and really reached out to you, and you answered God's call. You heard his voice, and you decided to get bold and take a bold step. See, you could have continued down that cycle that you were in, right? You could have kept just avoiding your trauma and your pain. You could have kept, drinking it away, smoking it away, partying it away, fighting it away, arguing it away, sexting it away. You could have still done all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't. You decided, wait a minute, stop the track, plot twist, detour, and you put everything went to your old life came to a complete halt, right? You had this realization that you can actually you still have another chance. You still can get it right despite your past, right? And so you decided to take a bold step, right? You decided to stop with your bad habits one at a time, And you started slow. You took one step at a time, collective, but you have no idea. Well, you probably do have an idea that actually was the best thing you could have ever done for your life, taking that bold step. It may have not been easy. You probably thought about taking that step for so long, but never had the courage to do it. But you finally stepped into the courage and took that first step. And now look where you're at, collective. I know you feel me on this. You know what I'm saying? Because you said, I'm not going to allow myself to be defined from the things that I went through. You said, listen, I seen how other people allowed their pain to define them. I seen other people in my family become bitter. I seen other people in my family become alcoholics, become angry, and end up in these toxic cycles for years. See how their lives are not happy, right? You said you don't want that, and you made that bold first step. And it wasn't an easy path. There was a lot of times where you felt like you were falling behind. Like you got ahead, but then you were falling behind. And then there was other times where you thought you just gave up and said, F it, I'm going back to my old ways. But somehow you still were able to persevere through. And that first bold step was the moment your life changed forever, because when you took that first bold step, that was your courage, but it was also you able to believe in yourself and to trust in yourself, right? And when you took that first bold step, it was like, whoa, you entered a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? You entered into a whole new type of mindset, right? And it's like you entered into a new level of freedom that you got a taste of that. And once you got a taste of that, it was like, whoa, I don't want to go back to my old life. You know what I'm saying? So you made sure you strived towards continuing forward and taking step at a time. And now, fast forward to today, collective, you are starting to create a beautiful life for yourself. You have a beautiful life. You have a beautiful spirit. You healed those parts of you that were hurting. You know what I'm saying? You don't have these shadows still on your spirit, weighing you down. You don't have that pain and illness and trauma on you because you've worked through your shadows. You worked through that pain and you were able to get to the root cause of why that was there in the first place. Okay. You came to terms with things that you could not change, and you accepted truths about you that were very hard to accept. You know, you forgave people, and you ended cycles and things without closure. You've done a lot of that work that was very uncomfortable, very boring, very unexciting to do, but you've done that, collective. And I'm so proud of you for it, because now you are a catalyst for other people to change and transform, and you get to show other people that it can be done. Do you know how powerful that is? See, so many people don't have anything or anyone to look at to say, hey, it could be possible. They don't have hope because they needed somebody like you to go through it, right? You already went through similar things like other people. You didn't have a silver platter. You didn't have a silver spoon in your mouth. You didn't have your life already set. You didn't have a great, a firm foundation growing up, right? You didn't have all of these opportunities, and you didn't have access to resources and money to help get you through, right? You did this all on your own. So now, because you've made it realistic and you made it a possibility, you show many others that it can be done. And this is powerful. You don't know how much you mean to the world at this time, collective. Thank you so much for deciding to take that bold step and be courageous, because you also understand that the only way that you can change this world is by changing yourself. Because when you change yourself, you become inspiration, and you help activate other people. It's a domino effect. You can't change anyone else. So you became that example of change. And now you are inspiring and motivating people more than you know, collective. So I just thank you so much for your efforts and your selfishness to heal yourself, because it really wasn't selfish. It was selfless. Okay. If this message resonated with you in any way, let me know down in the comments below. And if this is your first time here on my channel, please make sure you subscribe if you enjoy my content. I would love to have you a part of our tribe. We are growing and we are flowing. Thank you guys for continuing to support my channel. It's Karkar. I'll talk to you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.